and we'll get started into your questions. The session on the harsh truths about retiring in Portugal, that'll be up on Sunday evening. Great session, as I say. And that recording will go up on to the YouTube channel for Sunday evening. Right, let's come back to what we're doing right now and say good evening. Let's give Nuno a rest for just a moment. He'll be back on the screen in a little while. But Rodolfo Pelicano, olá, boa noite, tudo bem? How's it going for you, Rodolfo? I'm guessing you've been busy with all the citizenship stuff. Are there any updates since we had that special?
Hello, Carl. Hello, everybody. Not really, not really. Still waiting. No news since the last time. Everything's in the same, really same position.
Well, okay, all right, but it's been keeping you busy, I'm sure.
Oh, answering usual questions. Everybody wants to know what's going to happen. Expectations are high if the changes will affect those that already have plans to submit in a short period of time, but we still don't have the information because this, as I mentioned before, after the parliament, now it goes to the president. The president needs to do the sanction or not, to go to the constitutional court, etc. So I don't think this will come with news before September.
Okay, yeah, September's the big month then for
Yeah.
any news on this. Any other legal, constitutional, or immigration matters that have come to your attention? Or I mean, we've had quite a time of it. It's nice to have a bit of a break from it, isn't it?
Yeah, well, the immigration law, the president sent into the constitutional court.
Right.
So this where I don't know, it can be considered a sign for the citizenship law to go in the same direction.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Interesting stuff. All right. Thank you for being here. Any questions about the law? Let's put them to Rodolfo Pelicano this evening, and we'll come back to Nuno Mensch of Insurance. He's also here with Rita Pereira. I was looking for Gilda Pereira. We've got Rita Pereira, of course, and Gonzalo from Winsurance. Thanks, Nuno. Great job just now. What I didn't ask you when we were talking is are there any updates in the world of insurance from this last week? Anything to update our community with?
There are no updates regarding the world of insurance, but regarding the previous session, someone has mentioned that she has MJN and she was some months without knowing how to use it and so on. And I said that my team is amazing, okay, and they really are. So we have already checked and we have 9 emails talking about this. Nine emails. So um, please call us if you struggle the first time, please call us because we know that we passed the information, but could be new for you. You could not be aware of that in the middle of all the craziness of the move process to Portugal and the IMA appointment and the VFS and so on. So please, if you face a struggle, please call us and we'll assist you
Very
with
good.
that.
All right. Thank you very much for that. A number of ways of doing that, of course. The WhatsApp numbers behind Nuno there, and I am safe at winsurance.pt. Okay. Thank you, Michael, for joining us. Oh, and thanks again, Rita and Gonzalo, for being here all evening this evening. Hello again. Hi, Michael. I'll be in Portugal on the 12th of August. Hurrah! Any good news? Yeah, do share it in the chat. We would love to hear about people's movements and success in getting ever closer to being here in Portugal. Mr. S, good evening to you. Hello again. We don't have Gilda here this evening. She may join us in due course, but not as yet. Your question is about what's going on with the NIS. And when we last, I mean, I don't know if you saw last week's webinar special about what's going on at IMA in our new series of webinars and a new style of webinar. It's well worth watching. It's causing quite a stir on YouTube at the moment. I don't know if you saw that, Mr. S. Yes, we do think Rodolfo's got a crystal ball. What? Wait, you haven't, Rodolfo? Hi everyone from Laronda. Now I'm aware, Laronda. I think there was a question from you possibly, and questions from others that we did. There were a lot of questions, and I'm not sure we got to everything in the last session. So if there's anything to carry forward, please let me know. And I know I've got some questions for you that were sent in by Expats Portugal premium members, which I'll be asking in this session as well. Debbie, I think you've got something there. Let me come back to that. Had my medical exam for my driving license today at ACP. The doctor asked, "Do you feel well?" I said yes. He asked, "Do you see well?" I said yes. He listened to my heart for a few seconds and said, "Okay, you passed." Well, that's good. I had one online with a lovely Doutora Guerra, this morning, and she gave me a Portuguese lesson as well as a medical. It was great. Really, really good service. Very good value as well. Congratulations, Debbie. Do you want to say any more about that, Debbie?
It was nice. ACP set it up, and I used my premium member discount. So now I have joined ACP, and then I have my IMT appointment to exchange my driving license on Tuesday. I do have a car insurance question for Nunu. So pretty good chance I'm buying a car next week if I get my license. And so what do I do about insurance from like when I buy it until I get to insure it? I mean, do I have to have like the VIN and all that? Like, what do you happen? In the US, I always had my car insured and it would just be covered when I bought another car.
Okay, so the question is how to go about buying a car and how to fit insurance into that process. When do you do it and how does it all work? I mean, that's a pretty good question generally, Nuno, about if someone is buying a car, what's the sequence of making sure it's insured and the other technicalities that you need to take care of as well?
Okay, so first, in Portugal and in Europe, in EU, we insure the car. So the car's plate number, not the person. And having the car insured, anyone with a valid driver's license can drive the car and will be 100% insured. So the insurance policy will be 100% active. The process of getting auto insurance policy when you buy a car is first you need to find the car that you want, of course, and then knowing the date of the delivery, you must have the auto insurance policy on the delivery moment. Okay, so you will left the car shop with the insurance and the car. The auto insurance policy, it's a very common insurance policy. Usually, we only need a couple of hours just to try to get better quotes for different insurers and present you the better one that you get. And it's about this, having your documentation, and some we already have because you are insured with us on other lines. So only this, Debbie. It's not a problem. Very easy.
Okay, Debbie.
Yeah, just to kind of add, so I'm kind of used to in the US, like you go someplace, you buy a car and you go home with it, kind of like going to Costco. So here you don't bring the car home the day you buy it.
No. You could bring the car. If the car is pretty new, it must have the plate. So if you go to a stand and you want a brand new car, you need to wait some days until they get the plate to that car.
Okay.
If
Okay.
if it's a second-hand car,
Mhm.
it's plated already, so it's just a question of make the deal, pay, and bring the car. If he's on the same
Yeah.
day or not, it depends of the car shop dealer. It depends on
Okay.
them. Okay.
But you could do the insurance. I'm looking at some 2022s. I have a particular make and model in mind. So if I call you from the car stand, it could be insured and I could go home with it.
Yes,
Okay, that's great.
you can do that, but if you can help us and don't put us under pressure and you know what the car is, just let us know. We will request you some information about the car, also your driver's license, and we'll provide you a quote and we start from there. Okay.
Okay, thanks a lot. That clears it up.
And Jerry, were you going to add something there? Because of course,
well, I was just going to say what's just been said. Just call Winsurance with the registration number of the car, and they'll tell you everything they need. Don't forget that no claims bonus, that no claims discount bonus.
Yeah. Okay. So
but Debbie is already here for some months, so
Yeah,
she
I'm
will
here
not be-
15 months. Yeah.
she will not be able to get that that
Yeah.
letter.
What a shame, because I imagine you might have amassed a little bit of good driving bonus there, Debbie. But you could, I mean, it'll apply next year, won't it? I know. I
Sure.
noticed that I got a discount on mine, having insured with insurance for the last 3 years on a policy. Go on, Jerry.
I'm sorry, I did want to add one more thing, Debbie, which is the dealer probably won't let you have the car until the dealer knows that it's insured.
That's okay.
Okay.
All
Okay.
right. Thanks, Jerry.
Thank you very much. Terrell, please go ahead. Thanks, Debbie.
Hi, Carl. Hey, everybody.
Hi.
Can you
Thanks
hear
for
me
being.
okay?
Yes, and I think you
Yeah, boa
sent a
noite.
question, didn't you, as well? Maybe you're going to ask it yourself now, I think.
I can actually, I have 3 questions, so I can start with one and let people have a chance, and then if
Great,
come
thank
back,
you.
hit me 2 more. So this, I think probably for tonight, this is a question for Rodolfo, please. So and thank you for the great previous special that you had with your partner. I had a question, though, that I didn't get fully answered, so I want to kind of bring it back at you, and that is if so I understand from some sources at least that some non-citizens are able to vote in local elections in Portugal, but I'm a US citizen, and the information I've been able to find online suggests you have to be maybe a Eurozone citizen, a Schengen citizen. I'm not entirely sure, but not a US citizen, maybe not an Australian citizen. So I wanted to check in on if you have knowledge of that, or a source that you could reliably send those of us to who might be interested in voting, if we were allowed to, and we've lived here. I know there's requirements for having been
Great
resident a
question.
certain number of
Yeah,
years. Thanks.
Terrell, and I think you're referring, you may have said this, but to the September elections for the local government level.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you for that. Rodolfo, over to you.
This is more Daniel's area, politics and elections and these things, but I'll give a shot there. Perhaps Nuno knows a little bit even more than I do because he's a local. But yeah, Taro, actually, once you have your residence permit and you have enrolled in everything, if I'm not wrong, you're able to vote just in the municipality that you are, just the very local elections, not anything else, like parliament or whatever. Nothing you will be able to vote unless you become a Portuguese citizen, obviously. As far as I'm aware of this, there are some exceptions and special cases. For example, Brazilians. There is an agreement between the two countries in which the Brazilians may obtain a citizen card, but not as a Portuguese citizen, as a Brazilian citizen, but it's a Portuguese citizen card. And with that card, with that situation, which is a special situation, then the Brazilians that have this citizen card, they have the ability to vote in other areas, parliament, etc., but not for president and not for the prime minister, if I'm not wrong. Okay.
Right.
Carl,
Okay.
this is Jose. Can I
Go ahead. Go ahead.
comment? Yeah, I actually just went through this rather rigorous discovery
Fantastic. Thank you.
process. So Rodolfo is correct with one caveat. You cannot vote in the national elections until you become a Portuguese citizen. You can vote in regional elections, so for your city or county representative or mayor, but you must have been a resident for 2 years. So if you have your Portuguese residence
I'm
card,
sorry, what country
I'm
of
from the United
origin?
States.
Yeah, for
I'm a
United
Because
States.
I've
United
read online of an English language paper where people writing in from Australia and other countries saying they tried to go to their local Freguesia.
I don't know that it has to do with what country you come from. The important thing is once you have your residence card, and there's a date on the residence card, so mine says 30 May 2025, after 2 years have passed from that date, you should be eligible to vote in the regional elections. And then if you choose to become a citizen, once you are a citizen, then you can vote in any election. But yes, residence card at a minimum, and then 2 years of residence from the date of the residence card.
But there will be an enrollment procedure there. It's not just the
Correct.
fact of holding the residence card for 2 years. You must go to the
Freguesia.
parish or whatever, junta de freguesia, and you need to enroll. You need to register.
Yeah,
Yes.
just like in any other country. You have to register to be on the rolls. But you can't even do that until you've been in the country as a resident for 2 years at a minimum.
And one part of that, of course, is the residency that you point out, Jose. The other is to prove that you live locally, which you may have done already with an attestado locally, but at the point of going to your Junta de Freguesia, that will be made apparent, and you can prove that you live locally, and then you can vote in that local election, notwithstanding all the previous requirements that we've got to. I think there, Terrell. I hope that helps. Very good. Okay, I'll come back to you then, if that's all right with you, with your other questions. We don't have a representative here for some of the questions at the moment. I'm working on that. Let's welcome Sarah back to the session, to the Dream Team session after her earlier hard work. Great session earlier on, Sarah. Anything you want to add for our community here and streaming live on YouTube?
Yeah, so I did a quick check about the inactive accounts.
Oh, excellent. Well done. That was quick.
And it was true. It basically, it depends on the account, but we're sort of inactive between 2 and 5 years, so it should be fine. And that to keep your account open, it could be that you do a transaction, that you do a transfer out. Even if you did a small transfer of €1 out, keeps it active. Or even if you just log in and check your balance on your account, that's seen as activity. So you can still keep it open. If it is close to being inactive, we do let you know. It's very quick and easy to reactivate. All your money is safe and secure. You have full access to it, even if it becomes inactive. And definitely no one's taking your money. Because I know that Dan has mentioned that in America, after 3 years, if things become dormant, the state can take your money. That is definitely not the case. Your money is safeguarded and no one's taking your money.
We learned a new word, in fact, didn't we? A cheat, which is has cheat in it, and it's taking your money when it's supposedly inactive, or you just forgot, or something like that. So that was quite a shocker. And thanks so much, Sarah, for working not only hard in the session, but between the sessions to find out for us to bring that information to this session as well. Thank you so much for that. Any questions about currency? Sarah's here to answer those and exchanges, of course. Right. Yeah, I'm doing my best to get Gilda connected tonight. Okay, there's a question about kippers and trees here. Jerry, you might like to have a look at that inside the comments there and see if you want to answer it or not. Okay.
Well, I saw the question and I thought if I don't answer it, it might go away, but obviously it hasn't. Thanks, Carl. Jonathan, you have to see a kipper tree to know when to pick the kippers, okay? So when you encounter one, you will know the answer to that. In terms of what is kipper tree, well, kipper tree is, we're still rolling it out. It's been a grind with the software people, but essentially what we're looking to do is try to find hand-picked properties, essentially hand-picked properties that will be turnkey, a high energy rating, and essentially be suitable for expats who want to buy property. So that's what we're looking for Kippertree to do, but we're still not, the new development site looks great, but we haven't released it yet. Hopefully we'll have it out in the next couple of weeks. Astrid conveniently isn't here tonight to take responsibility for it because she's in charge of it.
Very good. I imagine we'll have an unveiling maybe on one of these Thursday evenings.
We will.
Yeah, looking forward to that. I think the kipper harvest is around April, beginning of April.
You have to find a tree and then you will know. Yeah.
All right, very good. Thank you for all the hard work going on in the chat here about voting. Any update on upcoming changes for the newest NHR regiment? Is that a little off topic for you, Rodolfo? The specialisms of NHR? That's more of a Pedro Franco question, isn't it?
Well, yeah, it is Pedro's specialty, and if Debbie gave me the crystal ball that she was mentioning earlier, it would be easier.
All right, it's next to the kipper
But
tree.
but anyhow, well, what they call the NHR 2.0, the new NHR for 2025, it's actually not really. I haven't seen it rolling as it should, but the idea or the rules is that it's basically those activities that they call the high added value
Mm,
activities that they've since the beginning, since the first NHR, they had the list. Now they have a new list, and basically, if you have an activity in Portugal or from abroad that is enrolled, it is actually one of those activities in that list, then you would be taxed at a maximum rate of 20%. This is basically the new NHR that should be working already.
yeah, but there's no further updates since that was introduced.
Not that I'm aware. Perhaps Pedro would have something more
No,
specific, but
I would
not
agree
that
with
I'm
you on that,
aware.
Rodolfo. Thank you very much
You're
for that.
welcome.
Much appreciated. Oh, another a forgotten celebration in not anymore. It's not. My tax return was approved by Portugal, and I owe nothing. I have NHR and not a high income. Well done, Debbie. Now, you can interact by pressing certain buttons. I'm going to give you some celebrations there. How about that? On my well, it didn't seem to work. Okay, I'll try that again later. There we go. Let me try that now. There you go. Especially for you, Debbie. Everyone else can do that as well if they scan that bottom bar of terrifying looking buttons on their Zoom. Laronda from the previous chat was whether or not someone can have their health insurance start before they arrive in Portugal, so that their waiting period has already passed. Oh, that's an interesting question, and possibly eliminate the need for travel medical insurance. Is that who's going to answer that? Nuno or Rita?
Yeah,
Okay.
I can go ahead with that. So the travel incoming insurance required for the VFS embassy or consulate appointment is mandatory. Okay, point one. Then the health insurance, which is very different from the travel incoming insurance required for the VFS appointment, is an additional requirement for the IMA appointment. It has started at not being mandatory, but it's becoming to be more and more requestment at the IMA appointments. Okay, so one, it doesn't avoid the need of the other.
There you go. Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, interesting to note there that it is not a requirement, but it is being asked for more often. So that might suggest a direction of travel with that. Thank you very much, Nuno. I hope that helps, Laronda. Michael, can someone explain what the NHR is? I think Rodolfo's done that. I mean, strictly speaking, in terms of definition, it stood for non-habitual resident, which is a bit misleading, I think. Non-habitual resident NHR tax regime, and fair to say that probably the best days of that are behind us, unless they introduce something new to attract inward investment, people moving to Portugal. This is MI under the new US law eliminating taxation on social security pensions. My pension, previously taxed in the US and exempt in Portugal under the double taxation agreement, may now be untaxed in the US. Does this another Pedro Franco question? And yeah, I'm gonna screenshot that so that we can at least come back to that next week or have it in the forum. So thank you for that, MI. NHR is dead. So, was it a cremation or a burial? Carrying on our theme from the last session that we had there, which much of which you can see if you watch the YouTube on Sunday, and if you're a premium member, you can see the recording again as well. Nunu, is it mandatory to have a social? No, hold on a minute. And this, yeah, social security to renew. I don't understand that question, Mr. S. Do you understand that, Nunu?
No, what I know is that the NIS is the social security number,
Right.
and I think that when you get the residency and you request the SNS number, you may automatically get the NIS, but I'm not sure about this. Maybe Rodolfo.
This is a
This could be one
controversy. Yeah,
of
this
these.
is some of the we have had some talk in this in the chat tonight. I mean, things are moving so fast that since our AIMA special last week, things have changed and moved on a little bit. And we were hoping to hear from Gilda tonight. I'm guessing the team have been hugely busy, as you might expect, and we'll make sure we've got some contact with them between now and next week, and certainly by next week, perhaps in the premium lounge, we can get someone along to answer these urgent questions. Debbie, do you have something to add to that?
Yes, it's kind of been all over different, groups and forums and WhatsApp chats and all that.
Yeah.
That suddenly to renew your residency, you need an NISS, but then the problem is that in order to get an NISS, you need to either be working or have a business. But if you're on a D7, you're not.
Right.
So it's like, I don't have the answer. I just wanted to say it's really being discussed a lot in the last about 2 weeks on like the Expats and Friends PT thing on Facebook and all that. Everybody's talking about it. So I don't have the answer, but that's why he asked.
And so the big question, as is being asked here by Robert, is how do we get a social security number if we already have our 2-year residency? Now, as you're absolutely right, Debbie, if you're working, or you have a company here in Portugal, how I did it was I got my accountant to send me a pro forma and I took it into a local finances. Obviously, if you're not working, you don't have a company, how are you going to have that happen? That remains the question. And again, a screenshot on that, and we'll get back to you and do our best to get some clarity on that in the next little while. Thank you very much for asking that, Robert. And yeah, bear with. There are caveats on whether your social security. Should I say, do you want to voice this yourself? It sounds like this is another area of your personal research.
Yeah, it's not really that it's not going to be taxed. As I said in the chat, if you're a single individual filing solely by yourself and you make less than $75,000, or you're a married couple and you're filing jointly and have income of $150,000 or less, then you will qualify for a $6,000 tax deduction. It doesn't mean your Social Security is not taxed. It means you qualify for a deduction. But if your income is above those two, 75,000 or 150,000 for both, then you get nothing. So it's not, the Trump administration makes it seem like it's largesse, but it's only largesse when it's for billionaires. For everybody else, there's a whole bunch of caveats that apply, and mostly it means you ain't going to get squat. But for some folks, if you're making less than those two numbers, you get a tax deduction. So that's the benefit.
Right. Thank you for letting us know that and for doing that research. Yeah, as George Carlin said, you're not invited, I guess, is the bottom line of that particular situation. So thanks, Jose, for that. And keep the questions coming then. Expats Portugal premium members. Terrell, it was a Gilda question, which we'll obviously have to come back to there. Are there any other questions that you've got that you want to share with us this evening, Terrell, that you can address to our Dream Team panel? Do go ahead.
Yes, another follow-up for Rodolfo, please, if I may. So, Rodolfo, those of us who were thinking that 5-year citizenship was their pathway, and now, as you talked about last time, it sounds like it may be 10 years is what's perhaps coming up. Although you mentioned briefly conditions for 5-year. If I say 5-year resident, it means after the first 2 years and your second 3 years, then how you have permanent residency after that while you're waiting for citizenship, however that goes. My question is, where online can I find reliable written information about all of that so that I can peruse it? I can really get it in my head. I can do, as somebody else said before, start my 10-year vacation planning. Because I think maybe with the changes going on in the government, some websites you used to be able to go to and reliably find info it's kind of scrambled. So if you have suggestions for us for that, I'd appreciate it.
Thanks, Terrell.
About the specific changes there, you won't find you may find articles in law firms' websites, like clippings or whatever, but they're all talking about the project of the change in the law, nothing about the change itself, because no one knows what the changes will be. So there's nothing like you can say, oh, this is reliable because this is what's going to happen. I don't think so. Everybody is working on the wording of the proposal. I mean, as Daniel and I made that webinar explaining our point of view and what we think will happen, the probability, the odds. Again, I think that the 10-year will go through, but I don't think the retroactivity will go through. This will be blocked. So, but this is feelings of each one's experience. Time of working with this. In matter of the residency, I don't think I got your question fully, but if you still don't have the 5 years currently, so you're not ready to apply, and the law changes for 10 years, unfortunately, you'll need to wait for the 10 years. But if you already have the 5 years now and you're just gathering paperwork, I mean, we need to go fast and submit the request because the applicable law is the current law. I don't know if this answers your question because I don't think I got it 100%, but
Sorry, so then a quick follow-up. Thank you for that. So, where can one go to find information about permanent residency for the period after the first 2 + 3 years? So, what conditions you have to still meet, how much time you're allowed to be away from the country, since citizenship after 5 years may not be what we get to step right into. Where can we find information about how we proceed in that?
All these requirements are written in the word of the law. The law there on the article for the permanent residence, which is the next one that you're mentioning, the requirements for applying, the requirements for you keeping it and not losing it, everything's on the law. So unless you get the law translated to English and read it, it's more of consulting someone that understands the wording of the law. This will be the most reliable. So again, eventually law firms with clippings or newsletters or these webinars where we talk about these issues. Eventually, this could be a theme like the permanent residence, the requirements, the how to keep it, not losing. This would be the most reliable, Taro.
I think, yeah, we're working on an update on the distinctions between temporary and permanent residency. I think that would be very helpful. Jose, had you translated and did you have some information on that? I saw you suggesting you may have some information on that, or was it something else?
No, I had a question for Rodolfo because
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
as I understand the proposed change from 5 to 10 years to acquire citizenship has been sent from President Marcelo to the Constitutional Court. And my understanding was that the Constitution today does not allow for laws to be made retroactive. So I was hoping that the decision by the court would be to uphold that, obviously, or change the Constitution. But that if that were the case, if the court were to say you cannot make this retroactive, then those of us who have been in Portugal for several years would still have that time apply and be able to get citizenship after 5 years. But in hearing Rodolfo's recent comments just now, it sounds like we would still get screwed, to use a technical term, because
we understand.
We would have to wait the full 10 years, even though we've been here 3 years already. Is that correct, Rodolfo?
Yes, this is correct. So let me just make a few comments there. First, the proposal of changing the immigration law is the one that Marcelo, the president, sent to the Constitutional Court. The citizenship law is still not there. It went from the parliament to different organizations, the Bar Association of the Lawyers, other associations. These guys are making comments right now. So it will still go to the president, and then it will probably go to the Constitutional Court. This being said, so when I really don't think the retroactively will pass, because this will be a huge problem, a precedent opening for so many other laws and other things. Imagine like this: if you pass something like this, that you can write a new law and edit it and publish it today, and cases from 6 months behind will need to follow this new law. I mean, if this is a precedent, imagine for taxation.
Yeah.
We can start changing taxes and applying. Oh, it's applied since to 2024 from now on. This will never pass. As you said, the Constitution forbids. I don't think uh, no one will approve something like this. I think this was more a marketing thing from the Chega, to make everybody very concerned. I really don't think this will pass. And this being said about the timing, so let's say the 10-year is approved. Let's put a date here just as an example. It will be enforced from the 1st of January 2026. So if in the 1st of January, in the 2nd of January in 2026, you still don't have your 5 years, you have not submitted, you will need to wait until the 10 years. So if you in 31st of December, you have completed your 5 years and you're able to submit your application, submit on the 31st of December, because otherwise you'll need to follow the new law, which is enforced from the 1st of January. It's basically this.
So I have a quick follow-up, if I may, Carlos.
Yeah, go ahead, Jose.
Rodolfo, is that not in essence a breach of contract? I mean, if folks moved to Portugal with the expectation that they would be able to gain citizenship after 5 years, and they're here, they're not planning to come here, they're here and have been here for years, and now after they're here, they've bought a home, they've settled in, you suddenly say, oh no, sorry, we meant 10 years. Is that not a breach of legal contract?
This is the big new discussion that we're having in the office. For example, the first clients that bring this up are all the golden visa clients who came to Portugal making a huge investment, at least 500,000 euros, etc., buying a property or whatever, or investment fund, doesn't matter. So these were the first one to raise exactly this flag and say, look, this is a breach of contract. I just came because I really don't live in Portugal. I just spent there the necessary 7 days, 14 days that I need to be there. I made a huge investment, put money in the country. Now this is a breach of contract. So for these guys, what we are telling them already is we will go to court. We are already studying the case. And if this goes through, we probably will go to court and try to find a breach of contract. But this applies for anyone that feels like this. I mean, as you just said, I mean, you make your move, you bring your family, you have kids, for example, you're thinking, look, my kids will get the Portuguese passport, and then when they go to university, they will have be treated as European Union citizens. So yes, this is a breach of contract, but in theory, because it's not a contract itself, it's not a black and white thing, So, but yes, I think depending on how the wording of the new law comes, I think there may be cases that we should go to court and try to fight that.
So that would be your advice to someone, is to go to court if that actually comes to be the law?
Eventually, yes. Eventually, yes. We're already talking about this at the office.
Okay. Muito obrigado.
Very
You're
interesting.
welcome.
Yeah, to nada, if I may say so. Thank you very much for that, Jose. Very interesting. Are you picking up on that as well, Pedro, on citizenship?
No, it's about insurance.
Oh, okay. All right. So thanks, Terrell, for starting that thread off. Thanks, Jose, as well, for your input on that and your question. And thank you, of course, Rodolfo, for answering. We are going to go back to insurance now with Pedro. Go ahead.
It was when we talked about the funeral and all of that on the previous webinar. I got a message then, or a message came on the chat from, I can't remember her name, I'm so sorry.
From Rita.
From Rita, yeah.
Yep.
And it said, in short, MGM does not include repatriation if needed, in from Portugal when traveling. Costs can reach 200,000 depending on the case. This is why we highly recommend travel insurance like Ergo or AIG, which covers repatriation. Now, I thought, or I understood, that because of my age, the only insurance I could get was from MGN. So where have I misunderstood that?
What's your specific question about whether you can get insured at your age or on the
she's recommending that I don't take if I've understood this correctly, that I don't take MGN because it does not include repatriation. Not that I need repatriation,
right?
But then it says that's why that's Win Insurance, recommend travel insurance like Ergo or AIG. Now, from previous webinars, I understood that at my age, 77, I could only get MGN coverage because of my age.
Yeah, I think we're confusing a few different issues here, and we need to distinguish whether we're talking about you're living here or you're visiting. The travel insurance is for when you're visiting.
I'm talking about traveling when I'm coming to live in Portugal, I guess I was talking about.
Traveling.
I mean, I'm not going to travel to Portugal.
Visiting before you become a resident. Is that what you mean?
Well, no, it's the message. Why is she recommending that I go to Ergo and AGI because it covers repatriation?
May I?
Go ahead, Nuno.
Yeah.
Okay, so we are mixing concepts and insurance.
Okay.
Health insurance / NGN is one thing, and as Rita said, it doesn't cover repatriation. So if you travel to Spain or to United States or Singapore and something happen, repatriation of the body or the ashes are not covered. Okay? Only a couple of international plans covers that. Okay, so and this is why Rita also has had that to have that coverage of repatriation, you need a travel insurance policy. Could be an annual or a day-by-day or trip-by-trip coverage. And that travel insurance policy, it will cover repatriation to Portugal because you are living in Portugal. So you will not be allowed to do a travel insurance policy to insure you in Portugal because you are residency here. You or I is the same. I only am allowed to have a travel insurance policy to cover me when I travel out of Portugal, not when I am in Portugal. Okay?
I'm confused now. Sorry. When I'm talking travel insurance, I'm talking about travel insurance for my visa to come to Portugal, aren't I? You know, that's what I'm talking about.
Okay, so it's to come to you are talking to the first appointment with the VFS, embassy or consulate. Is that so?
Yeah.
Okay, so for that purpose, AIG or Ergo, they don't comply with the Portuguese authorities' requirements.
Yes.
Okay, and it's a different insurance policy, not MGN. It's a different insurance policy that needs to fully comply with the Portuguese authorities' requirements.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
That we also have. Actually, we have a tailored one with roughly 1,000 applicants by now with 100% success. So all of them were accepted worldwide by VFS offices, Portuguese consulates, and embassies.
Okay.
But it's a different and a specific insurance policy that has the repatriation coverage to the country of origin because you will be traveling to Portugal. You are not a residency yet.
Yes.
Okay.
I hope that clarifies better.
No, what is the MGN then? Why did somebody say, or people over a certain age can only get insurance with the MGM?
It's about the health insurance.
Not travel. Not travel. This is once you're living.
Okay, now I get it. Sorry.
Okay, excellent. And there we go. Fantastic. Well done, everybody. Okay. Jonathan, did you have a question? Are you happy with the conversation you're having with Nuno there, or is that something you'd like to share on screen out loud?
I don't know whether Nuno wants to, but it's in a sense, it's a nuance.
Go on.
Because I'm in the situation of only coming temporarily. And yet I can be a resident straight away, and I'm intending to. If we can, we will deal with Carleen, my wife's residency as well. I'm an Irish citizen. She is not. She's a USA Canadian citizen. So I've had, excellent help from Winsurance, Rita, Helena, and Nuno. But I thought it might be of interest because there is some nuance in this area. If Nuno wanted to make a comment, because I realized after a while that the difference between saying I'm coming and that's it, and I need a D7 or what have you visa is different to our situation, which is just a little bit unusual in that we're not coming permanently yet. We may do. And on the other side, I am an EU citizen.
So I don't know if Rita already has replied to you, but you may request a visa to your wife, a family reunification visa.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they also require health insurance for your wife, as well the travel. So for you, I'm pretty sure that they will not require neither of the two contracts, okay? But for your wife, even though through the visa, the family reunification visa, I don't know if they require this. So my suggestion is contact Gilda Pereira or EI team, and they will know for sure.
There you
Okay.
go.
Yeah, and you know that's exactly what I'm doing. But I think what I would bring out from this is the beauty of the expats Portugal forum here, where we're coming together. I mean, if Gilda was here right now, she would comment, and we have this wonderful array of experts, and in the areas of overlap, it's really helpful to have you all on our team, so to speak, so available. It's fantastic. Thank you.
Excellent. Yep. And apologies for the lack of a representation. So we'll get them back on. We'll look for some representation on the premium lounge. And of course, to be part of that, you'll need to be an Expats Portugal premium member. Sign up at expatsportugal.com. Is that everything for you, Jonathan? And I think, Peter, you're looking less confused as well. That's fantastic.
You agree with Jonathan.
You're gonna have to write a book, Peter. Feeling 18 but being 78. You gotta write a book about your secrets.
I'm
I
just
think.
starting a YouTube channel, so don't worry about it.
Oh, excellent. Okay, fantastic. You can.
Hey, Carl, can I add to
Go on,
Jonathan's
Jose.
question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Jonathan, I'm from the U.S. and I'm also doing a Article 15 family reunification. My wife is a German citizen, so she has her EU citizenship. And I did not have to submit any proof of insurance in applying for that. And I have my residency card. So I would still encourage you to speak with Gilda, but my experience was they just want to see your marriage certificate, the fact that you own a home in Portugal, and that you legally are still married to the EU citizen that you claim to be. Thanks.
Fair enough.
Thank you. Helpful.
Excellent stuff. Brilliant. And thank you for your contributions, honorary Dream Team members, both Jose and Debbie, this evening. Right, we've got about 10 minutes to go. I think for the time being, that's all the questions from our premium members on Zoom here. I'll do a few quickies on. Actually, before I go over to YouTube, there was something that didn't get attended to earlier on, which was Heidi. I have my residency card, but not a citizen, and not yet residing full-time in Lisboa. Do I need to provide my NIF when I purchase items now that I have received the card? Basically, Jerry, right, as far as I think the answer to, in the absence of Pedro here, is if you want your reliefs as a tax resident here, that's when you'll be presenting your NIF number when asked for it. That's when it matters, is when you're a tax resident here in Portugal. Jerry, wonder.
Yes, I think that's absolutely right, Carl. I don't think it's relevant for now. It only matters once you're tax resident here.
There you go. Rodolfo's nodding for us as well.
Yeah, that's perfectly correct. Both of you are saying exactly.
Woohoo! Excellent. Thanks, Rodolfo, for that validation. We appreciate that. Debbie, from you.
Yes. So I asked a question that I don't think you saw, and then I got the answer, but maybe it's a good idea for a future webinar. So my question was, in the USA, they have prepaid cremation. It's the Neptune Society. But before I moved here, I checked with them and they're like, no, we won't bring you back and do it, but I don't want to be there anyway. So while everybody else was talking, I did a quick Google, and there are some prepaid cremation companies. So hey, like Jerry, maybe get one of them as a
partner,
the provider, yeah, the experts, whatever. But
yes.
Also, that's a good idea for a future thing. Like, what happens if you do pass away here and you don't want to get repatriated?
Yeah.
We have actually done it, and we do have a free cremation package that I can send you. Just let me know. It's a box of matches, and I'll put them in the post to you.
But it was all going so well.
But point noted, Debbie, and I think with Nuno's help, we'll do an update to that, because I think obviously it's a very important subject. And I think there's quite a lot to consider. So we will do an update to that. Okay, yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. And there's definitely room, I think, for one of these sort of green burial. I know it's not part of the law here in Portugal, but I think there will be more Portuguese people and obviously foreigners seeking that sort of service. I think that's just a matter of time before the green burial concept is a part of that lineup here in Portugal, alongside burial and cremation. Right, a few quickies then over on YouTube. Are rent prices going down in Setúbal and Lisbon? I doubt it. I think that I've heard real estate agents talking about a little bit of a flattening out of sales prices, but rentals, I wouldn't have thought so. Davi over there. Usama, Dream Team, question about driver license renewal. I suggest you speak to Carla at A for that. Go to our business directory, Usama, and seek out AEI and speak to Carla there, because that's a very specialist license renewal question or exchange. Andre, what happens if the Constitutional Court does not review the immigration law within 15 days? For you, Rodolfo, is Parliament able to modify the nationality law to avoid it also being sent to court before September? Does that make sense, Rodolfo? This 15-day limit?
So, Portugal is very good in their deadlines, they work it very, very well.
Yes.
Everything's well respected on deadlines. I'm not quite sure what will happen at this point if they surpass their deadline. I don't think they would. I think they would reply. They usually do reply within the deadline,
Yes.
But when they come, let's say that they decide that, I have explained this before, that I'll come back again here. Maybe it's useful. Let's say that they just decide that one or two articles of the proposed law are not constitutional. So the law goes back to the president, which will send it back to the parliament, and they will need to revoke or change these two articles and then submit again the revised law. This is basically the path.
Thank you very much for that. I think that after it depends, which is probably a top answer, we will see is probably the second answer, isn't it? And I think that's a we will see there on that deadline there. Andre, thank you for that. Hamid and Nanami on family reunification and renewals. We will put those sorts of questions to our A representative next time we have the pleasure of their company, which I suspect will be next Thursday evening. And Vicky, yes, the NIS issue was a bug in the program. That was on the website, not the issue. Thank you, Vicky, for that. But I think it's a slightly different matter that was being addressed earlier on in this session. Right, that's, as far as I'm aware, that's all the questions. And wouldn't it be nice to just breathe out for a moment? It's been quite it was earlier on, it was the harsh truths about retiring in Portugal, and it's been quite a busy and not tense exactly, but some serious issues being discussed tonight. Earlier on today, and this is especially for our Portuguese friends here, a question of you on a cultural basis and a reminder of how wonderful it is to live here, because we can forget that with these sorts of discussions. And I was thinking of keywords about Portugal, and there was one I just couldn't wrap my head around. And there are familiar things that we know and love. I think I can speak collectively for some of the people I know here from some time now in the community, but pride, Portuguese, it's a key kind of value or sense a pride in the culture. And the heritage itself, the history here, we love that here in Portugal, and the culture and the history. And there's something else that I couldn't find a word for that I'm looking for some help with here this evening, Rodolfo, Nuno, Rita. And it's the Portuguese, it might be the opposite of saudade. It's how the Portuguese enjoy the joie de vivre, but it's not like an exuberant joy. It's to do with home, family, and sharing. And the word convivio came up. And I wonder if you would agree with that, or if you have a sense of what I'm talking about and what the Portuguese word, the yin and the yang, I suppose, of saudade, and this other word of how there's such a pride and joy in sharing the culture. And it's not exuberant, it's not flashy, it's not showing off. It's just an absolute love of connecting with people and sharing what is wonderful about Portugal. Rodolfo, you're nodding with me there. What is convivio the word I'm looking for, or is there another word?
I think convivio is, if it is not the exact word, it's very good word, because actually I saw, we receive these videos every time in Instagram, Facebook, whatever. And there was an American citizen, a young fellow, maybe 30 years old, and he was saying exactly this, that he was living in Portugal for a couple of months already. And he was like impressed that the Portuguese would go out of the work at the end of the day and go to a cafe or to a bar and sit and talk and have a beer or a coffee and stay hours together, and then go back home hours later, almost every day, and have this convivio, as you said. And while in the US, he was impressed that everybody would shut your computers and straight home, go to TikTok and sit at home, don't talk to anyone.
Yes.
So this is exactly what you're trying to bring, was a video that I saw this week. And I think convivio is good. Perhaps Nuno has another word.
Thanks, Rodolfo. Okay, so you understand what I'm talking about, but it's kind of poetic, isn't it? And philosophical. It's not an easy word to put your finger on. Thanks for that, Rodolfo. And I'd love to see that TikTok. Nuno, what would you say? How would you describe it?
Be convivio, but on a tribal way, So this is my pet.
Right.
And it's not to show off, it's to enjoy.
Yeah, absolutely. That is it. It's not flashy, is it? It's not look how great we are. It's like, we love this about our culture and we want to share it with you. I've just always been overwhelmed and delighted by that since being here in Portugal.
Look, I've been at MUT. MUT, it's an international jamboree for rovers, and it's occurring yet in Portugal, and I've been there for 4 days. And what I was saying, I forgot.
It's all that time out in the fresh air, right?
And on the last day, I give a ride to a friend of mine. We are the same age, and I left him just at the gate of the camp, and he looked to me and he said, "No, I really love to be with you. I've been for like 2 years without being you, and I have so that to be with you, to spend time with you." So it's I don't know how to explain. We feel it's something that we feel.
Yeah, well, I think it might be the yin yang sort of relationship with saudade. It's the other side of that, isn't it? It's the joy of life here in Portugal, and it's uniquely Portuguese, I think, because it isn't showy offy or exuberant in any way. Jerry, did you have a comment on that?
Oh, yes, I do. You know how often I say that Portugal is like Ireland, but Portugal has sunshine, right? Well, keep that in mind. Now, we do actually have a word for this in Ireland. And I think it can equally apply in Portugal, and it's called the crack.
Yes, right. A confused look possibly on Rodolfo, Rita, and Nuno's faces when you're talking about the crack.
I have no idea what he's talking about.
It means something very different in the United States, I'll tell you.
This is the crack. Just having a laugh with friends, enjoying the end of the day, maybe going for a beer. That's what the crack is. Okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
I have one of those almost every Friday.
Oh, in Ireland, you do it every night.
That's true.
Hey, Carl, may I add something?
Yeah, well, I think it's 8 nights a week in Ireland, isn't it? But anyway, go on, Jose. Of course you can.
Yeah, I would say comunidad.
Comunidad. Okay, thank you.
we live in Santa Cruz, small beach town north of Lisbon. And during the summer, it's amazing the number of activities that are here. And as two examples, real quick, there's Ocean Spirit Santa Cruz, which is a Euro surf competition that goes on for 10 days. It just ended 2 days ago. And not only do they have surfing during the day, but in the evening, they always have live concerts with bands, and then they have DJs. And the second night, right before it ended, they had Napa, which I didn't know, but was the Portuguese entry into Eurovision.
Yes.
So I walked down there. It's about an 8-minute walk from our house. And there are literally throngs of people there. And I'm talking grandparents, infants, teenagers, people my age, all enjoying this concert on the beach at midnight. This is at midnight. And then last night, my wife and I walked into our little town park, and they had the Santa Cruz Accordion Festival. Amazing talent from a 12-year-old young boy who we've seen. This is the third time we've seen him playing, to a gentleman from Spain that had come to perform. And again, grandparents, young couples, children, and it's all free. There was no charge to attend any of these activities. Beautiful. It's all sponsored by the Torres Vedras City Hall and the mayor with our tax dollars, unlike in the US, where my tax dollars go to give Musk and Trump and Thiel, more tax cuts. It's just amazing. And it's that sense of community. I walk to my downtown cafe in Santa Cruz. I literally walk in, the waitress catches my eye. She nods. She knows I want 2 meia de leite, bem quente, sem açúcar, uma colher. O costume. Faz favor? Sí, faz favor. I mean, I have lived on 3 continents, in probably 8 different cities, in Europe and the US primarily. I have never had this experience in my life. Am I frustrated with the government, changing the NHR and changing the citizenship? Hell yeah, I am. But I will tell you this, my wife and I wake up and we give thanks to God that we live where we do every single day.
How about that? Thank you so much. And we need to hear and remember that. We are talking, and we do have to deal with the harsh truths, but let's also remember that as well. And it couldn't have been put any better. Thank you, Jose. And of course, everything you described is just a warm up for the Torres Vedras Carnival that's coming up. You have
absolutely.
Yes, for sure. You're going to see some convivio there, my friend.
But next time, don't tell us one day after it ends. Tell one day before it starts.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, that wasn't very Portuguese of you. Or maybe it was. Right. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you, Nuno. Thank you, Rita, Gonzalo, who's gone, and Rodolfo. Thanks, all of you, honorary members, Debbie and Jose of the Dream Team session. We'll see you again soon. Thank you so much. Take care and bye for now. Yeah, Braga, 9th and 10th of August. Take care, everybody. Bye.
And Hank and Connie on Saturday. Don't forget
Hank and Connie on Saturday as well. Fantastic.